Hey everyone, my name is WyrmsEye and I welcome you back to another episode of the Battle Spot Factory, our VGC Battle Spot series, now in 2018 guys. So today will be probably the final episode that we use this week of the Gardevoir plus Zapcat team, the brainchild of English player Conan Wild. As we do find our first opponent from Japan, and this is going to be a very interesting mirror matchup. We have Gardevoir, Incineroar, Landorus Furion Form, Zapdos, Tapu Fini, and the minor change is Amoonguss instead of our Aegislash. So obviously we have an idea of what the sets are going to be running as. The only real misnomer is the Amoonguss set that we do not know at this point. We do know obviously some of the speed stats, some of the ways that this team can operate, so the mirror is going to be not a particularly pleasant game to play because I don't really know how best to tackle it. I feel like a starting lead of Incineroar and Landorus makes the most sense here. And from there, do we go Zapdos for the... I'm more inclined to go Aegislash over Zapdos here, just because if we manage to get the Shadow Ball Z move off onto the Gardevoir, that would be particularly helpful. Obviously, the Amoonguss is probably going to be our biggest annoyance for this battle. Got to assume that it's got access to Rage Powder. It probably carries Sludge Bomb, given that fairies are more or less everywhere in the format at the moment. Spore, most likely, but we shall see. So we're leading off with Incineroar and Landorus. They lead off with Incineroar and Zapdos. So we do get an Intimidate off onto the Incineroar. Have to assume these are speed tying, but either way, fake out into the Zapdos, and we are going to go straight for the Rock Slide into the Incineroar here. This turn should be fairly neutral. We're probably going to be trading fake outs instead of doing any meaningful damage. I don't want them to get Tailwind up on the Zapdos easily, if I can help it. I don't think I'm going to be able to stop it the next turn, but we do see that they withdraw their Incineroar, opting to go into Tapu Fini here. Zapdos could then therefore be protecting, as we do see the protect there, so obviously reading that the most likely thing is to stop the Tailwind going up. But we do get Rock Slide off, and we should be doing some decent damage to the Tapu Fini there. So we are threatened by the Tapu Fini quite significantly. And what I'm thinking I need to do is I need to switch into Aegislash with the Incineroar. And I'm just going to continue Rock Sliding with the Landorus. I think the Zapdos actually outspeeds our Landorus here, unless they've made an adaptation to the setup. So we could get a decent Rock Slide off from our Landorus before they are even able to attack, which would be nice. If we pick up a flinch or two, bonus. So we do see that their Zapdos is in actual fact faster, which is a shame, but we will get a Rock Slide off. We're not intimidated, so we should be doing decent damage to both parties. Yes, we are. And the Tapu Fini opts to Muddy Water. So good damage to the Landorus, very significant damage to the Landorus there. And because we're in this position, I need to be somewhat careful. Shadow Ball is effective on that. We've seen that they have Incineroar themselves. I don't think the Zapdos is too much of a threat. So what we'll do is we'll switch into Gardevoir here. This is potentially quite dangerous. The Gardevoir doesn't exactly have the biggest defensive stats while it's in this form. We see a Thunderbolt into the Aegislash. Takes that relatively well. We see it's a Life Orb on the Zapdos. We do see a Muddy Water. Not good. Not good at all. So I think here now what we really got to do is we've got to just try and fake out the Zapdos and go for this Trick Room straight away. We should be able to take another Muddy Water. We should be able to take a Moonblast once Megaed, which will be significant. We still have to be kind of worried about their Incineroar. In the back. Landorus can deal with that, but not in Trick Room. And we do see they switch out immediately into the Incineroar here. So we do get the fake out onto the Zapdos. Does faint. And we do get our Trick Room up. But are we helping us more than hindering us is the question. You see they send out their own Gardevoir as well. Okay. So they've actually traced Pixlate on the base form, which is interesting. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to snarl both of these, and I'm going to try and Hyper Voice as well. Do I want to? Actually, no, let's protect the Gardevoir this turn, because if we can get a Snarl off onto their Gardevoir before they're able to attack with anything, it should give us a little bit of breathing room. The big problem that I see at the moment is not so much... it's just getting rid of the Incineroar, and I need to get rid of it when... I need to get Landorus in sort of like after Trick Room ends, if I can help it. So I do need to be somewhat nervous of how they're playing out this turn. The opposing Gardevoir protects. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So our Incineroar gets a Snarl off. I figure they will probably be going for the same thing. Oh, they're going for... Ah! Okay, this kind of changes the... Oh, that's dangerous now. So it's a Malicious Moonsault into the Gardevoir. This will give us an idea of how well we can take potentially a Darkest Lariat. I think we'll probably die to the Hyper Voice before we... Oh, they had... Yeah, okay, so... Yeah, we could be in a bit of a problematic situation now. We do get our Snarl off first, so something at least. They do opt to Darkest Lariat here, so we might take this with our Gardevoir, we might not. We don't. So most likely Hyper Voice coming out, yep, and I think that's the end of the game as well. So we played this mirror badly here. Because we got the choice ban, we've not really got any way of properly dealing with either my opponent's two on the field, let alone what they got in the back, which I don't think we've seen yet. Actually, no, we have seen it. It's the Tapu Fini, isn't it? So yeah, we kind of lost this one already. So I am just going to forfeit. There's no way that I can see us getting out of this situation. The Landorus being banded means that we are... I know that we're faster than everything on their side of the field. I can't really stop anything they can do about that. So kind of Trick Rooming there didn't really help us. See them having the Darkest Lariat, the Malicious Moonsault on their Incineroar kind of hurts, and losing Aegislash as well just wasn't particularly clever. I'm really struggling with this team, and I'm not really sure why, because, well, I am sure why, I'm just not playing it particularly well, and I'm still trying to learn the ins and outs of this metagame. It's not necessarily the team that's the issue, I don't think. I think it's probably the city idiot controlling it more than anything. So I do apologise, Conan, for what is kind of a very poor showing from me with this team. We have found another opponent though. It's a QR code team, so I'm not familiar with this one, but this could be the one that's... I know that was it James Beck was using an Empoleon on Battle Spot ladder, so this could very well be his team. So Empoleon, Charizard, Sylveon, Landorus Form, Zapdos, and Tapu Bulu. Now, if this is his team, I kind of remember his Charizard being Charizard Y. Which could be an issue. Okay, let's lead Zapdos and Landorus here. I want to try and get up Tailwind, I think, if I can. Mega Wise, do I want God of War, or do I kind of want Aegislash here. Yep. And I kind of want God of War as well. So I think this is mostly going to depend upon speed control. I generally think I want to try and go under the Tailwind option rather than the Trick Room. But we'll see how my opponent leads off. So all of these battles have been really difficult for me to judge, as we see Charizard and Sylveon lead out for my opponent here. So educated risk here. Tailwinding with the Zapdos. Does he have anything that flies? He has Landorus, Zapdos. I think then we'll try to Rock Slide. Gut feeling says I want to Earthquake here, because if the Charizard is X, Earthquake makes the most sense. But we've also got to be aware that there is a Tapu Bulu. We've also got to be aware that there is a Zapdos and another Landorus that could be on their side of the field. And if any of those come in and then decides that they're going to set up their own choice of terrain or be immune to the earthquake. We need to be able to just stop that as best as possible. We do get up a free Tailwind for the time being. We do get a Rock Slide off, so decent damage to both sides. Sylveon does get its Hyper Voice off, which is unfortunate. How much damage is this doing? A lot. In that case, I'm going to protect Zapdos, and I am going to switch my Landorus into Aegislash. My gut feeling is Landorus could protect. It could even be Assault Vest, which is my biggest worry here. That's because Assault Vest Landorus is actually somewhat popular, but I need to be able to have something to threaten the Sylveon the next turn. We see the Landorus just goes for Rock Slide here, so not doing too much damage to the Aegislash, which is nice. And we do see the Hyper Voice come out. So fair damage. Fair damage. So I am just going to Hidden Power into the Landorus. I'm going to Flash Cannon Sylveon. I don't feel safe enough to feel that Wide Guard is the correct play here. If I can remove the Sylveon, that's a bonus. And I feel like Aegislash has the power, the potential to pick up the knockout. It's just going to be difficult. I may have rushed this. I might have just wanted to try and get rid of the Sylveon straight away. But I'm thinking that if Zapdos goes down, it gives me a free turn into the Gardevoir, and I can sort of Trick Room straight away. So we see the Landorus switch out in favour of the Charizard. And we see the Sylveon switch out as well, in favour of Empoleon. Very nice. Very nice indeed. So a little bit of chip damage onto the Charizard. And we do get the Flash Cannon off into the Empoleon. Not a lot of damage there. Not to worry though. Not to worry. So I'm going to go for the Gigavolt Havoc into the... Oh, that means that I can't... Yeah, we're going to Thunderbolt into the Empoleon, and we're going to Z-Shadow Ball the Charizard, I think, here. It makes more sense to try and get rid of the Charizard, because that is the likely Mega, and I wouldn't be surprised if it Mega Evolves this turn. They may consider that a Thunderbolt from my Zapdos will be going into Charizard, and that will be weakened by the Thunderbolt. However, given that I think my Aegislash is relatively fast, I should be outspeeding Charizard under Tailwind with the Aegislash. That Empoleon took nothing. Paralysed? Yes! So I've just called that correctly. So, come on. Come on, come on, come on. This may give us another turn to actually set up another Tailwind. Obviously we do remove the Charizard. It all depends if the Empoleon targets Zapdos or... It's an Icy Wind, okay. So Zapdos does just hang on. But obviously the speed does fall. Tailwind peters out. How are they going to play this? Right. do I have in the back? Landorus, Gardevoir. Yeah, we'll go for we'll make a play here. We'll Tailwind and Wide Guard here, I think. If we can get, I think the Landorus really kind of wants to go for the Rock Slide here. Nice. So we should get the Tailwind up no problem because the Empoleon is slower than our Zapdos. So that Paralysis could have been something significant for us. We just see a Scald into the Aegislash. Which I will gladly take. And that means I can now come into my own Landorus. I can now freely Earthquake and Hidden Power into the Landorus slot, I feel. Relatively safely. It's not foolproof by any means. So if the Landorus is Assault Vest, I don't think we've confirmed whether it is or not. We could be in trouble. The way that it is playing suggests that it might be, because we haven't seen Protect yet, which is the big caveat here. It could just be a normal choice variant, which would suggest Scarf most likely. But we have got him in a bit of a pickle here. If Empoleon switches out, the Sylveon is going to be taking significant damage. If it doesn't, Earthquake is going to knock it out. Which it does. So we will see how much this Hidden Power does now. Not Assault Vested. Always good to see. And that should win us out the game. So the choice to Wide Guard there with the Aegislash proved extremely influential. And I can't really understate just how well that actually played out for us. So we'll just see how much this Earthquake does to Sylveon. Actually knocks it out cleanly, which is really good. Critical hit. So might have survived. They might have been playing for a berry proc most likely, but we do secure a win at the very least. So a good way at least to round out this week's episodes with this team. By no means the best showing that I've ever had on Battle Spot, and I do feel like I'm going to have to improve going forward into following weeks. So next week I'm going to be looking at a team that's much more standardized, something around what many people considered to be going into this format as a likely replacement to Chalk, or to some degree a replacement to Chalk. So do look out for that. Hopefully it'll give a bit more stability and I should be able to sort of get my teeth into it. I am actually in the process of trying to catch a couple of the legendaries for that particular team at the moment, so hopefully during the course of the week I should be able to get the relevant wormholes to be able to pick those up. But tomorrow, in terms of this new series that I've been banging on about for the last couple of episodes, I plan to be doing a episode on the Battle Agency. So we're going to be doing a Battle Agency series where we're going to be trying to grind up the Battle Agency on the game, try and get as far as we can, and hopefully with a little bit of interest and input from you guys, we can get some Pokemon that you've used in the Battle Agency, get some frame codes from other people that might be interested in seeing their trainer used on the channel, even if it is just as a basic idea. And obviously the more that you use the Battle Agency, the better your rank grade becomes, and I'll try to explain that a little bit more in tomorrow's episode when we do it off for the first time. So I hope you guys have enjoyed watching this team. Obviously not the greatest record with it, and I do need to learn a little bit more going forward about this format, so practice for me, always a good thing. But hope you like, comment and subscribe on the video to keep abreast of any additional content that comes out from me. And until next time guys, I bid you goodbye for now.